From NBC News, this is Today.
Of course, today is Juneteenth. It is also Black Restaurant Week. And we found a really special spot that's serving up family recipes passed down for generations. Blaine Alexander is going to give us a tour of this special place. We're going to visit some businesses serving up amazing food and a side of history as well with one of the founders of Black Restaurant Week. Blaine Alexander drew that tasty assignment. Now to a special Today food as the nation marks Juneteenth, and you really can't celebrate the day without shining a light on the food and culture that surrounds it.
NBC's Blaine Alexander joins us from Atlanta with this incredible story. Blaine, good morning. Tell us about it.
Well, guys, good morning to you. This was certainly a lot of fun. You know, Juneteenth celebrations can certainly take on many different forms, but food is often right at the heart. And it's not just so people can brag about who has the best mac and cheese recipe, but there's a deep meaning behind the cuisine with a history that's as rich as the holiday itself.
At Nouveau Bar and Grill in Jonesboro, Georgia, there's something special in the air.
Fried asparagus. You've never had nothing like it before.
And if the smell doesn't entice you,
This is insane.
just take one bite.
I feel the love in this. I feel the love in this.
At 42, founder and owner Ebony Austin is relatively new to the restaurant business, but her food is generations in the making.
So when people come into your restaurant and try your food, they're tasting your mom's recipes, your grandma's recipes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, my grit recipe comes from my grandmother. The way I fry chicken, it comes from my mother. We would be in there doing chicken on Sundays after church.
It's that special blend of taste and tradition that makes soul food a staple in American cuisine.
Almost any American food that you taste, depending on how it's prepared, it's got a little bit of soul in it, right?
It does. And so some of these cooking experiences and some of the different dishes, they go back to some of the slave times. When you look at some of the first well-known notable chefs in this country, they were black chefs.
Yet black chefs often face a steeper climb in the restaurant industry. That's why Warren Lockett helped found Black Restaurant Week, a way to showcase black cuisine and its rich history.
When you look at someone like Hercules, who was George Washington's chef, he was one of the first traditional chefs in this country. When you look at something like barbecue, it's a combination of African cooking techniques, indigenous cooking techniques, as well as European cooking techniques. In the late 1700s, slaves were some of the best pit cooks in the South.
There are so many foods that are delicacies today, but they came about because slaves really had no other options.
We had no other options, and that's really where soul food came from. It came from taking the scraps, whatever was given, and making something out of it. Something like oxtails that is so expensive now used to be known as a scrap, but it has become just a world favorite.
It's why when we celebrate that unflinching spirit on Juneteenth, food is often right at the center.
Traditionally, foods that are red in color have always signified Juneteenth. The red has always represented the joy and the resilience of the people, of the slaves' freedom. So watermelons, strawberries, fruit punch.
It's so stunning that you say watermelon because so often that has a negative connotation when you think about minstrel shows and how black people are portrayed.
Yeah, when you understand watermelon has a history of over 5,000 years, that it comes from Africa. Watermelon seeds were often brought over in the hair of slaves.
And that's why here at Nouveau,
Now let's get to these greens.
Ebony is taking her carefully curated Juneteenth spread out into the community. 3 meals with some extra meaning on the side.
So when people come into your restaurant and they take a bite of your food, what do you want them to taste?
The love that's put into it. That behind the people that's inside of those kitchens that are working super hard is that every dish is made with love. It comes from the heart.
And there was certainly a lot of love in that food. I tasted it in every single bite. And mind you, I took a lot of bites. So if you're interested, Black Restaurant Week kicks off today in the New York area. It's lasting until July 2nd, but it's expanded to more than 15 cities around the country. You can go online to find out when it hits your city. But guys, the bottom line today on Juneteenth, go out, celebrate, and eat well.
I love it, Blaine.
The main ingredient is love.
Yeah, love. You made us all hungry, by the way, and
No
filled
doubt
up
about
with
it.
a lot of history. So that's the most important thing. Great stuff, Blaine.
Wish we had some Nouveau right here.
Yeah, exactly. All those dishes looked good.